If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. We have battle reports, list videos, and other Warhammer 40K content every week. Thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by. This video is going over the results for the Sackville Slugfest 8 RTT that I went to on April 19th, 2025. It was a 2,000 point RTT. I brought the Adeptus Custodes using the Lines of the Emperor detachment. I was a wild man though, and brought a list with no Wardens, no Bladechampions, and no Grav-tanks. I was able to go 2-1 with this list, grabbing 3rd place. Let's take a look at the list, the games, and some final thoughts on how the list performed with any changes I would like to make to the list. First, let's take a look at the list that I brought to the RTT. This was a Lines of the Emperor list. I named this one the Lines of War. It came to 2,000 points. My warlord was Trajan Valoris. I also had 2 other shield captains in Alaris, one with the Ad Monte Mortis enhancement with the Castellan Axe, the other with the Superior Creation enhancement with a Guardian Spear. For my battle line, I did have 2 units of 4 Custodian Guard, 3 Spears, and 1 Sentinel Blade and Presidium Shield in those, and also a 5-man unit of Custodian Guard, 2 Spears, 2 Sentinel Blades with Shields, and a Vexilla with the Misericordia. For the other data sheets, I did have 2 units of 2 Alaris to join up with those shield captains, 3 units of 2 Virtus Praetors with the Hurricane Bolters, a unit of 5 Prosecutors, 2 units of 4 Witchseekers. Finally, for my allies, I did have Inquisitor Draxus and a regular Inquisitor to join up with those 2 units of 4 Custodian Guard. Game 1 was against the Thousand Suns. This was a 79-78 win. The deployment was Tipping Point, primary mission Linchpin, secondary was Fog of War. And once again, for the 4th tournament in a row, I drew 1000 Suns for my first game. I had played this player with his 1000 Suns the last RTT I went to. He had the same list as last time, Magnus, a Vortex Beast, 10 Terminators, and some other Sorcerer characters in his list. The last RTT I had brought a Talons of the Emperor list with Grav-tanks, 2 Bladechampions and Wardens in that list. This was a very close game, the closest game in points of all 3 games. The lack of mortal wounds protection in this game was painful. The shooting in my list was able to pick up those characters with the infantry units without having to get within flamer range for those overwatches. Trajan was able to take out Magnus with some help with some help from the 5 Custodian Guard that he was joined to. The 3 units of bikes were great for putting pressure onto his expansion objective, as well as easy secondary actions like containment for some big points. Trajan with the Custodian Guard and Draxus with the Custodian Guard were my MVP units for this game. The Alaris didn't do a lot this game. I was able to steal the Thousand Suns home objective with a unit of 2 bikes and one of the Alaris units I had used Golden Light on. I did not get a good chance to use Unleash the Lions late game. A fun game, a great player. I do believe he is number 3 in the overall championship tournament standings. Great player, fun game. Let's move on to Game 2. Game 2 was against the Sisters of Battle, and this was a 65-95 loss. Deployment was Search and Destroy, primary mission Purge the Foe, secondary mission Rapid Escalation. My nemesis for these RTTs seems to be the Sisters of Battle. Even though the score was not the best, this game was pretty close. The Sisters were using a Hollowed Martyrs detachment with some vehicles backed up by lots of infantry, including 3 units of Noodle Arm people. My secondary draws were not the best in this game, which had me playing the catch-up game. I had to be a bit more aggressive than I would have liked to. Although by turn 3-4, it was starting to turn my way. I had been chewing through a lot of her army, and most were dead except for a pocket of a few characters, a tank, including my friend Morven Vol with her unit of Paragon Warsuits. I went for a big push, took the center, and with my next turn looking to seal the deal. A great play by my opponent, and my dice had been hot for the first few turns, and they started to cool down. The Sisters were able to make a great change. I do believe a Palatine made it onto my home objective, somehow killed Draxus and 4 Custodian Guard by itself. Morven Vol was able to clean up the center with some shooting and some charges, including some poorly timed bad roll dice for me. Still a fun game. It was a close game till it wasn't, so let's move on to Game 3. Game 3 was against the Emperor's Children, and this was a 79-61 win. Deployment was Crucible of Battle, primary mission Burden of Trust, with the secondary mission, Prepare Positions. Game 3 and the final game of the day was another close game. The score was similar until the last turn where I was able to keep board control. The Emperor's Children went first. Being very fast, they were on me turn 1, making charges into all of my screens, putting us in the fight turn 1. The shooting and the fight on death stratagem defined to the last made a real difference in this game. Trey, being a hero, took out Lucius in turn 2, which was lucky since he is very good at killing elite infantry. I do not want any of that. The 2 uses of Moment Shackle really came clutch in this game. The Virtus Praetors were used as speed bumps to slow down the Emperor's Children, keeping them from stealing my objectives or getting too far into my deployment. The Inquisitors being able to use the grenade stratagem was a nice tech piece. Although the Emperor's Children had a 4+ Funeral Pain to Mortal stratagem that blunted Drax's and the Inquisitor, it did pull out CP from my opponent. The Alaris with the Axe of Death, aka Ad Monte Mortis, did great in this game. His unit was able to take out a Mauler Fiend, a Demon Prince with wings, and halved a Chaos Knight Brigand. A great showing for that unit who was not that impactful in my previous 2 games. A great game. I always enjoy playing Laura. It's a shame we did have to draw each other at the tournament. With that win though, I was able to grab 3rd at the tournament. I also get Best Opponent. I try to make my games fun, whether I'm winning or losing. I want my opponent to enjoy the game. I don't want them going away thinking, man, I shouldn't even came to this tournament. I want my opponent to have a good time, a fun time. I love playing the game, so I want them to enjoy playing the game as well. Let's move on to some post-tournament thoughts. I know the first question will be, how was it with the no mortal wounds protection, and how was it without any Wardens or Grav-tanks? Honestly, there was only a few times in my games that I felt having Wardens for a particular engagement would have been better. The Presidium shields and the Custodian Guard units made them much harder to kill. 1 unit of Wardens in this list might be a good choice though. For those times when I do need a unit of Wardens, I have a unit of Wardens in my list. The shooting in this list and all the extra chaff and secondary scoring combined with the +1 to hit and +1 to the wound roll, I really didn't miss the Caladius Grav-tanks that much. No mortal wounds protection was something I had to play around, ask my opponent at the beginning of the game, and throughout the game as well, just to remind myself which of my opponent's units did have devastating wounds. The grenade stratagem was always a threat. I ate at least 1 or 2 grenades a game, but not as much as I thought I would. This list is constant pressure. No, it can't advance in charge, but the bikes have movement 12 with that 18-inch auto advance, and the Witchseekers have the scout ability. It allowed me to get board control and pressure objectives early. The shooting of this list was able to take out units that I would normally have to charge into to remove from the table. Killing chaff has never been so easy. That being said though, there are a few changes I would like to make to the list. I don't think I need 3 units of 2 Virtus Praetors. I was thinking of dropping the Superior Creation of Lars Terminator. I'm not sure though, he has a lot of potential in this list. I'm going to work on a few changes for this list. I will make a video for my new improved Lions of War list. I will finish the video with some final thoughts. Getting 3rd and Best Opponent got me enough points to get me into the Championship Tournament, sliding into the 7th out of 8 slots. This tournament is on May 24th, 2025. I'm not sure if I will finally break and bring the 3 Wardens and a Shield Host detachment. The protection from mortal wounds would be welcome. I do like this Lions of the Emperor list. I will have to test them out, go full meta with a whole bunch of Wardens, or go with what got me to the dance. Subscribe for weekly battle reports, list videos, and other Warhammer 40K content. Like always, thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.